Okay, update on two charts. I'm just going to do Tesla and QQQ tonight. These are the two that I'm focusing on. Last video, I said 265 was my target. It obviously went higher than that. Depending on if you're using the log chart or the arithmetic chart, the targets are quite different. So far, over the last month or two, the regular chart has worked great, and I'll show you how. So on the regular chart, we got a clear 1, 2, and then we got a third wave. Breaks outside of there, and we got a dip right after that. That's how I predicted this dip right here. We got outside the third wave, pulled back, except for the fact that I was looking for a more substantial pullback. Well, not really that much substantial. I was off by a couple of dollars. But I was looking for this to be a B wave, and it's gone pretty high. And I'll show you the log chart here in a second. But basically, this was my count. We have A right here. Then we have an expanded flat. It's already broken above the 1.61 fib. Still can be an B wave right here. But if we zoom in here, I think that there actually might be one more move higher. Could be the top, but my count is showing me, I think that I'm looking for potentially one more move higher. We'll see though. Regardless, the next move after this is finished is what's really going to matter. So let's say this goes up to 290, or if it tops out right here, it could still be a B wave here. If it's a B wave, then my target for the C wave, and this would actually keep the regular chart targets in play, would be basically, let's say that's the top right there. I'd be looking for a minimum of 256 all the way down to potentially 226. So this would have to be an overall B wave. And again, this is a 5-wave move here, but if you followed the last video, I was showing how this is actually A, B, and then C right here. So this would be a 5-wave move no matter what. The other possibility, if the log chart is right, then that means this is the entire dip right here. And this is a 5-wave move. So it really depends. And what I'm watching for, I'm not going to be chasing at all this week. This move should be about finished. So even if it goes to 290, let's say it goes to 290 tomorrow, never going to be chasing there. What's going to be really telling is how it pulls back. If we get a 5-wave move, then we know it's a C wave. If we get an ABC move, let's say down to 260, there's a gap fill right here. Let's say we gap fill down to 260. That's a buy the dip situation 100% of the time. And I'll show you why. So basically, if the regular chart is correct, then we should see a C wave down, because this fourth wave was not long enough for that to be valid. So we need a C wave down for it to be valid. Because again, if we zoom out here, this second wave took about 2 months and 15 days or so, 2.5 months. This wave only took 7 days. So for that reason, it's going to have to be something that's more drawn out. Even if it comes down here, it could even be more choppiness after that. So for those reasons, it might be a more accurate log chart. So let me show you on that. So regular chart, we're looking for a 5-wave move down. If that doesn't happen, then I'm defaulting to the log chart, because the log chart would then be more accurate. Regardless, though, on the short-term time frame, this shouldn't really affect that much. Let's say you missed the dip, because so we have, if this is a log chart, this would be my count. And we'd be in a fifth wave. The target, because again, on the arithmetic chart, we got outside the parallel line. This one we have not gotten outside the parallel line yet. The 1.61 fib is sitting at 350. So you'd want to see it hit 350. Actually, I think it's 340. Let me see. 345. So I would want to see it go all the way up to 345 to complete this overall fifth wave, if that is correct. Another way of looking at it, this only goes to 323 though. And then again, this is potentially just a C wave. This could also be on the log chart. So on arithmetic chart, we can change it. It looks like a 5-wave move on that chart, but again, I'm showing you why I think it potentially could be invalid on there. So this could also be ABC because it doesn't get outside the parallel line. It needs to get outside the parallel line for me to call it a third wave. It is a third wave on the regular chart, but it's not a third wave on the log chart. For that reason, this might have been the fourth wave of the overall third wave or the C wave. If that's the case, then this is likely wave 1 of 5. If this is wave 1 of 5, let's say it goes to 290, let's say it topped out right here. I'm looking to buy the dip at the gap fill or at 258, potentially all the way down here to 250 with a stop below the low. That would be the overall second wave, and I'd be looking for something like this. Probably, what's the 1.61 fib? Probably like 315, 320, pullback, and then a fifth wave higher. Like that. So if that happens, then I would consider this an ABC move because it did not get outside the parallel line. If it were to get outside of here, then I would probably consider it a third wave. It would have to go all the way to like 385 though, maybe even more than that, 400. We're talking about all-time highs. So really this week is going to tell us which chart is more accurate, the regular chart or the log chart. But again, it doesn't really matter on the short-term time frame because we should be getting a pullback here shortly. So that's a pretty long explanation, but that's the way I'm looking at it going into tomorrow. Let's go to QQQ. It's the exact same situation on QQQ. Oh, I didn't go over the demand zone. So there is a supply zone or demand zone here at 265 down to 254. So log chart kind of is looking a little bit better in my opinion. Fill the gap, second wave, third, fourth, fifth higher. We got daily demand down here at 235, and we got the supply zone 300 to 314. So maybe a third wave ends in there, pull back and go higher. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm really just going to wait and see which way it goes and see which chart is correct. QQQ, exact same situation. Very, very simple. On the regular chart, I'm looking for this to be A, this to be B, and to come down here for a C wave and then probably up and go lower than that. But it's going to depend on one thing. Are we going to get a fourth wave and go higher right here? If that is the case, I had this as the A wave total right here. If we get 5 waves, then I'm looking to buy the dip on the pullback. If we end right here, A, B, C right here, and we have a pretty good supply zone right here, then let's say we double top, then I'll be looking for a C wave down here. So there is a possibility that this is wave 1, and it's the exact same situation as Tesla. I'd be looking at regular chart again. We break outside of it, and then on the log chart, did we break outside of it? Ooh, we did. I didn't realize we broke outside of it. So that changes things, because that means that this probably is. I'm still leaning towards this making another move down, because this makes me more confident, because we did break outside of this. It's still possible that this is, again, this, but just the fact that we broke outside this parallel line on the log chart too, and then we corrected from February 2nd to March 10th, this only took 10 days, means that it still is more likely that we come down here farther. It still means that this is the most likely path, down here to 357, and then that could be the bottom, or again, we get A, B, and C out here. So I didn't realize that in the log chart. That makes me more confident that we're probably going to get another dip, but I'm still watching. Just like on Tesla, if we get a corrective move down, then I'm probably going to buy the dip with a stop below the low. So that's my explanation for Tesla and QQQ. Looking at QQQ's chart, though, I would say that I'm still looking for this as my number 1 scenario, but I'm ready for this to be wave 1 of 5 where that happens. On QQQ, because we break outside of it even on the log chart, and how short this move was down here for a 4th wave, I can't think that the 4th wave is complete. And again, let's do one other thing. That's the thing, though. Anything can happen. Like, I'm just going over like probabilities just based on what I see from the chart. But it could just be a very, very short 4th wave. There's no way of knowing which way it's going to go. But let's just take a look and see where I would want it to get outside of. So I don't think this has even gotten to the midpoint. That's kind of where, and midpoint maybe right there. It's probably an easier way to do this. I would say maybe a little bit more. Regardless, it doesn't matter. We did not get to the midpoint. So again, and timing-wise, for how long this second wave took, did not get to the midpoint. Timing-wise, it's too short. I'm still leaning towards ABC down. So maybe up here to 371.50 and then a C wave down. That makes the most sense. Again, anything is possible though. This could be a very, very short 4th wave, and we could start a 5th wave higher. But probabilities are we're going to see a wave down, and that actually brings the probabilities that Tesla will come down here to 235 more likely. But again, we got to watch the structure of this move. If this does 5 waves, then I'd probably buy the dip. If it ends at 371.50 and then starts moving down, I'm probably going to be short. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to go over QQQ and Tesla because those are the two I follow the most. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know everyone is euphoric because it went higher, went pretty high, went from 240 all the way to 280. And everyone thinks it's going to go straight to 340, which is possible. But I would say odds are we correct. And they have earnings on the 19th as well. So, I mean, is it going to run into earnings or is it going to correct into earnings? We'll see tomorrow. We should be able to get a very good idea of which way, which count is correct tomorrow. And we'll see what happens. I got all my stop losses, all my targets set up. So, I'm ready to see what happens, and I'll do a video tomorrow and give you guys an update. And I'm going to go over the tech stocks later and probably update those tomorrow as well. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.